Welcome to another episode of How Do I Fix That Image with your host, Mike White. So we have an image right here and it's just pretty small. I mean, you can tell that just without even looking at it, but let's download it and let's actually look at the size. So we've got 500 by 500 pixels. Now that's a real challenge. That's an awesome challenge. I'm not criticizing this image by any means. It's about 1.75 inches by 1.75 inches. And we don't know how big we want to print this. And we're not sure what color, shirt we're going to put it on. But that's a challenge. I mean, nobody wants to print anything like, 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. They want to print it bigger than that. So let's look at how we can do that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab upscale. So let's just upscale this. And if you all have watched my tutorials, you know that I do things differently all the time. I take different approaches for different images because every image is different. This one, I think, okay, I'm not too embarrassed by what upscale did. But this one, just looking at it, like we need to make this a shape. We can probably just make those solid color bars. And then this text, we might be able to just get away with this text. Let's see. It doesn't look terrible. So I made it 2,500 by 2,500. So let's take it from there. So now we're in Inkscape. We just used Upscale. That's the application we were just using. And now we're in Inkscape and we're just going to drop that image in. And we're just going to go straight to Path, Trace Bitmap. And we're just going to apply, and it's going to grab our black parts of this image. We'll delete the image. And there is our trace. And I mean, actually, it looks pretty good. I'm just looking at that. I mean, I can read it. It's not terrible. It's not perfect by any means. I mean, retyping this would be the best solution. But, we're trying to do things fast and quick and actually make money, so I'm going to Control Z, deleting the image. I'm going to do Control Shift R. And what that did is it just fit the whole stage to the image. Now I'm going to delete the image. And I'm going to do File, Export. No, I'm going to do File, Save. We're going to save it. And we're going to call this ATC. Yep, just atc.svg. All right. Now let's take this original not the original, but the upscaled one, and let's open it with Photoshop. Now we need to make this bigger because we just absolutely can't print. Right now, if we change this, we do resample and we do 300 pixels. It's still only 8 inches, not big enough. We're trying to get to 15 inches. And that way, the person that needs to use this image can actually scale it down. We're going to go ahead and set this. Let's make it 16 inches, not 160, 16. And let's just make it bigger. Now that's not good quality. We actually upscaled and we had decent quality from upscaling from such a small image. We can't just use this at this size, but we actually are going to remake all the different parts of it. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my downloads folder. I'm dragging in the actual SVG we created and hitting enter. So now that SVG is there, and that's on one layer, and there's the other layer. So it's such a simple image, and this is why every image is different. This one's super simple. I think these are just supposed to be solid colors. It looks like solid colors to me, okay? And so I'm just going to sample them. I'm just going to find a clean part in the middle here. And I'm just going to grab my background color and do the same thing and just grab a clean part of that orange. And we're just going to grab our rectangle tool. We're going to set our fill. Well, we're going to set it to that yellow. And we're just going to draw this bar. So let's just draw the bar. We'll just let it overlap here and hit it just like that. And to make sure things are perfect, we'll duplicate that layer. So it's the same size on both sides. And we'll just drag it down. We'll just line it up with this orange. I'm going to be pretty picky about this and just line it up as well as I can. All right. And then we're also going to like adjust the stroke on these. We don't want any stroke. So I just did that on the one. Let's do it on the other. No stroke. And then this bottom one, we want to just change the fill to that orange we selected earlier. Okay. Oh, I did the wrong one. All right. That's the bottom one. Let's just drag that up. I'm going to do that. Click here and just grab that orange that we selected. Awesome. Okay, so now we got 2 bars. And I think this one, we're just going to see how this works out. Let's grab both of these. We're just going to duplicate these layers. And I'm just going to drag them over. And it kind of snapped to the edge there. Yeah, and things are pretty good. So let's just hit Control T on this. Actually, it looks like the original is a little off. So I just hit Control T and I'm just like bringing this in so it's overlapping that black. And then, you know, not outside of it. And then this one right here, I'm just going to turn on Auto Select and just click that layer so I can find it easy. We'll just bring that in. Everything looks good. We'll turn that background off. Now we're just looking at our traced shape. And we're just going to grab that shape and pull it up to the top. And we're just going to check our corners here. Looks like everything's pretty sharp. And so all of this, they're all vector, you know. This one is the SVG we drug in, so we can make that any size we want. It's going to be perfectly sharp. And then these are drawn vector shapes right here in Photoshop, so they're perfect. I'd say we've got this fixed. Let's do image trim, transparent pixels. We're going to do file, export, quick export as PNG. We're going to save this as ATC Jiu Jitsu. I like to put underscores instead of spaces just because I'm like that. I'm going to put 4500px mic RTP. All right, let's save that. Let's look one more time at our size. All right, so I'm going to do 15 inches. That's the max that I go. I go 15 inches wide or 19 inches tall, whichever the aspect ratio dictates. And then we do export, quick export as PNG. Save it there. Replace it. Awesome. And I found Lisa's folder. And I'm going to take that. I'm actually going to take that SVG and put it up there too, just because why not? It's nice to have that individual piece. And I'm going to upload that. And then I'm going to share it. So we're going to do share, copy link. And then we're going to go back to where we saw the problem. And we're going to tag our lovely customer. And we're going to say, Lisa, here you go. Boom. And then there's the link to the drive file. And then I'm also just going to attach this preview that's not actually the image you should download, but it gives you the preview. Okay. Well, now I'm going to render off this video and I'm going to link that right there just as the same. Hey, thanks for watching my videos. I hope they're helpful. And thanks for ordering from the DTF transfer companies that support this work. Take care.